Hey guys, today we're going to talk about nutrition. Yes, that big old rock, the big old heavy thing that you've been thinking about and that you know is a big doozy. Well, first of all, nutrition, you're going to have to learn a lot. I'm only scratching the surface after being in this for 3 years. But I'm going to give you some options. There's definitely some options. You're going to do a combination of 2 different types of things. So we're going to do a combination of how you're eating, and we're going to do a combination of what you're eating. So how you're eating, there's 2 different types. There's plan A and there's plan B. Plan A, you eat about 6 times a meal, 6 times a day. You eat 6 meals a day, whether you have, breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner, or you could just have, a bunch of small meals every 2 to 3 hours. Pros of that, you get to eat all the time, you're never really hungry. And the cons of that is that it's super hard to plan it out. So if you are a bad planner and have very hard time planning out your meals, I would suggest going with option B, which is called intermittent fasting. I've included a link below. It's a link to a very, very awesome article for you to check out and really read up on intermittent fasting. And so intermittent fasting is pretty much you take those same amount of calories that you're consuming and you squish it down into 8 hours. So it's brand new to me. I'm starting my eating at 11 o'clock and I'm finishing at 7, and that's it. Whether you want to break that up into 2, 3, 4 meals, it's all up to you, as long as you're staying within that 8-hour window. And it's called intermittent fasting because those other hours that you're not eating, it's pretty much like a fasting period for your body. Now we're going to talk about what you're eating. Okay, well, in 1977, the USDA passed this new eating standard that pretty much said, stop eating fats, stop eating fats. You need to have more grains. We need whole grains. Fats can give you heart disease and things like that. So, our whole entire society switched over to low-fat diet and high, carb diet. Well, carbs are really high in sugar, and that can actually cause a lot of heart disease. And this statement that the USDA made in 1977 was actually just based on stipulation, because you could get heart disease if you have too much fat, but not as much as not as much as carbs. So going back to my point, 2 different ways of eating. You can do the A combination over here with what you're eating, where you can have some grains and stuff, but you're gonna have an overall healthy combination of foods. You're gonna be able to have a lot of everything. And option number 2 is going to be low carb and high fat. The reason I give you guys option number 1 is because carbohydrates are pretty much like a drug. You tell people to take them away and they're like, they freak out. And I'm sure, if I say this low carb, high fat, you probably get like really scared really quick, and then you're like, wait a second, what? High fat? Yeah, I'm gonna try it out too. It has been tried and tested, and when the USDA made that statement, it was just based on stipulation, and now there's been science put behind the statements, and actually high fat isn't, as long as you're having the right fats, it's not so bad, as long as you have low carb. Now you can't have high fat and high carb, because then you're definitely gonna be gaining some weight. So more information on that, let me know, shoot me back an email, talk back and forth with me.